a couple of weeks since the federal budget, but questions are still lingering about a single line in the middle of the document. The line's about what would happen in case one of Canada's banks gets into trouble. The CBC senior Washington correspondent Neil Macdonald has been writing about this. He joins us now live from Ottawa, where he's working on a documentary. Neil, the budget talks about a bail-in as opposed to a bail-out if banks fail. What do you think that term means?
Well, it's obvious what it means, and it's a very good idea to pursue this. And what governments worldwide, not just Canada, are dealing with this whole idea of banks that are too big to fail. It's a danger. It's a political danger. A bank starts sinking. You need to rescue it for the sake of the economy, and if, what happens, they run in with taxpayers' dollars and prop it up. This rewards bad behavior. It rewards fraudulent behavior in some cases, and they don't want to do that anymore. The logic is fairly simple. If we make it clear that there's no safety net, then the banks will behave more responsibly. Now, the question is, so what they're really saying is that if a bank starts to fail, the entire loss will be borne by the bank's creditors, shareholders, bondholders, and the question really is, how far do they go? Because in Cyprus, they went very far indeed. They started seizing deposits from rich depositors, and they basically liquidated them. Mm-hmm. The question is, how far is the government prepared to go?
And why put it in the budget?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, especially the way they did it. They raised a hypothetical, talking about a possibility of a bank failure. Then they used this ambiguous language about going after certain bank liabilities, and then they've refused to explain this. This doesn't make a whole lot of sense, putting something like this into a budget with that kind of wording right when bailout is being defined by the European authorities as something that can be pretty horrendous for certain depositors, rich, well-off depositors, bondholders, shareholders. So why they would put it in there without explaining it more clearly, we don't know. The government has since said, well, the finance minister said, we would never go after deposits. Well, the deposits are insured, yes, but what about deposits over $100,000? They've been unclear, and it's, in the current environment, given the scare that the Europeans put into international investors, ambiguity is not a good thing. It's beyond me why they would put something like that into the budget without a clearer explanation. Perhaps we'll find out in a couple of weeks.
All right, appreciate this, Neil. Thank you.
Sure.
CBC senior Washington correspondent Neil Macdonald. He's in Ottawa today working on a documentary about the world's central banks. So head to our website to read Neil Macdonald's analysis. The address is cbcnews.ca, right at the bottom of your screen. It is one of the most read stories of the day.